What's going on, y'all? Back here again with another video. Got a lot to cover today, so I'm gonna make the intro short. But before I get into things, make sure to give this video a like if you do happen to enjoy today's video, and also subscribe to the channel as well as my other two channels, TheJHReview 23, which are song covers, and soon to come to the channel, R&B reviews as well. Also visit my fitness channel, JDHop0610. Both links are in the description box, so check that down below. Other than that, about to go ahead and get into this double album review. This is going to be Logic, Under Pressure, and The Incredible True Story. Let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, y'all, so before I kick off the review, just my little introduction to Logic. First time I heard him was his song called Under Pressure off the Under Pressure album, which I'm about to review first. I heard that song on Pandora, and I was hooked ever since. And I probably put him like on my top 5 list right now as far as my favorite rappers. I still don't put him above Kendrick though. Main reason being because Logic still has to find his sound, because he's even compared to Kendrick or Drake or J. Cole as far as, you know, his music, because you will hear a lot of their influences on his music. Logic, he's getting there, but Logic still, you know, kind of has to find that own sound. And I really think with this next album that he's gonna drop, he's gonna blow everybody away with this one. I just got a feeling. And plus, I've been seeing all like the snippets and little sneak previews of, you know, his studio sessions as far as his next album is concerned, and it's got me excited. So I'm ready for him to drop that album, but I don't think it'll be to far like fall or something like that from what I heard. All right, so the first track I'm gonna get into is called Soul Food, which is kind of the, you know, the intro to this album. But it's a good opener, and he goes like right off the gate with talking about his sister's abusive relationship with her boyfriend, and also some other things he gets into in this album. His father being addicted to drugs, and how he almost, or I think he did try to sue Logic because he kept mentioning his drug use in his songs. His brother selling drugs, mama being on drugs, and sister getting raped, and just, you know, he mentions a whole lot of things about himself and his family in this album. Next song I want to get into, called Game Related. Like, this has got to be like my favorite song on the album. The production is sick on here, and I like how he raps from the perspective of his brother, and how he sold drugs even to his own father. At first I thought Logic was selling drugs to his own father, so I was trying to make sense of it, and then I listened to it and I was like, okay, he's rapping from the perspective of his brother. Like that song as well. Another song, Growing Pains. Another song that I liked on here, and basically Logic talks about his, you know, upbringing as a child, and how social services tried to take him away because his mama was on drugs, and of course his mom and dad were on drugs. So I thought that was a real good introspective track. Growing Pains 3 is what the song is actually called, so 1 and 2 are on his mixtapes. Next song I want to get into, Nicki. I thought that was the most clever song on this album, and basically he's talking about his addiction to nicotine, and I didn't know what Nicki was until like the latter half of the song, where he says he says she turns his lungs black. So at that point I knew he was talking about cigarettes, so Nicki, nicotine. So I thought that was pretty clever. And last track I want to get into is called Under Pressure, which started it all for me, and I definitely like this song, like the production. But what I really like is the second half of the song, where he does the beat switch, and once again he's rapping from the perspective of his sister, his brother, not his brother but his father, and it's kind of set up like a voicemail, and you'll hear the beat between each verse. It kind of brings it together, and I thought it was I thought this should have ended the album, but it didn't. The next song till the end actually ends the album, but I thought this would have been a good way to end the album. But I like Till the End, and the other songs on here, even though I didn't really go in depth, Bird Alive and Bounce, which is probably like the only hype track on here. The rest of these songs are like real mellow and soulful, kind of like boom bap beat type, production. But I like every song on here, even though I didn't get into all of them. But just the ones I went over, those are the ones you want to look for and definitely listen to. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and get into the second album, The Incredible True Story. I like the concept of this album and how he did it, and how he has like different skits, kind of like a movie throughout the album between each song, and it kind of ties in together the whole story as far as these two guys. It's set in the future, and these two guys, they're out in space and they're looking for a planet called Paradise because the Earth's resources have been used up, and nobody lives on Earth anymore. And on the trip, they're listening to Logic's album, which is what this album is. So after the intro, you have Fade Away, which is a real good song, and also Upgrade. And with these two songs, you could really tell how Logic was trying to switch up his flow, and he does that a lot throughout this album. He doesn't stay like consistent with the same flow every time, and that's what I like about Logic. He's always trying to play with different melodies and flows and things of that nature. But as far as Fade Away is concerned, I like how it transitions into the next song called Upgrade, because there's like a skit towards the end of the song where the two guys, they're in space. They're talking about the computer's upgraded system, which is called Thalia. Which is basically like the computer AI Siri chick or whatever that you heard in Under Pressure. For those who listen to the album, you'll know who Thalia is. But yeah, so it goes into Upgrade, and then another song I like was Like Whoa, and let's see, I Am the Greatest. Probably like the hardest track on here, I feel like, and I thought the Ali sample that they put in here, the Muhammad Ali saying I'm the greatest during the whole track, I thought that added to it. Next song, City of Stars. This is the song that I had to get used to a little bit, because he kind of took that Drake approach. Remember what I said in the beginning, that he kind of has that Drake influence, so he sings in this song from time to time. And like the first half, or pretty much like 3/4 of the song, he's singing. So you got to get through that for him to get to the end of the song where he's actually doing some rhyming. And he's talking about his issues with Def Jam, and also what else he talked about his with him being black and white, the whole racial issue with that as well. But other than that, yeah, City of Stars, I would say now is a good song, but it might take a while to get used to. All right, so the next song I want to get into, called Paradise. Very 90s hip hop type production on this song. So I like anything that's 90s, so this one definitely stood out to me. And Paradise, as well as the next song after it, Never Been, which is a real motivational track. I thought these two went real well together, because they're both kind of talking about following your dreams and not being complacent as far as just going through life, whether that be like going to school, going just getting a regular job, some 9 to 5, some stuff like that. So I thought those two songs really resonated with me. So the last song on here, called The Incredible True Story, which is named after the album, of course, I thought this also tied in with the idea of Paradise and Never Been. If you listen like towards the end of the track where they had that, like it's like a sample of a speech or something like that, sound like it's from like 1930 or 1940 or something like that, but it's like a real deep speech if you listen to it, and basically the gist of it, the guy's talking about pursuing your dreams and not chasing after money, but instead following your dreams and doing and do what makes you happy. So I thought that was a good way to end off. So to end off my review, I'm gonna give my opinion on which album I thought was better. Personally, I like Under Pressure a little bit more than I did The Incredible True Story. mainly because the Incredible True Story is more of an experimental album. So, you know, he was trying to experiment with different sounds and flows and things like that. So I didn't think it sounded like cohesive as far as, you know, sonically, lyrically, and production wise as Under Pressure did. But yeah, with that being said, both are pretty good albums, and I'm gonna be listening to these for a long time to come, at least until the next album drops. But with that being said, that's gonna be it for me today, y'all. Definitely give this video a thumbs up if you did like the video, and subscribe to my channel as well. That's gonna be it for me today, y'all. Peace out. See you later.